Hey there, I wanted to address a couple of questions I get a lot of times about some of my videos. And I really appreciate people watching my videos. And my most popular ones are the near death experience ones, which are my favorite to record, honestly. I do like recording now the other ones too, but I love the near death experience. I think there is so much that we can learn from it, but there's also a lot of misconceptions about it. And frankly, it generates a little bit of, I guess I'll call it controversy. So I want to read a couple of the comments I got, and I want to respond to them because these are not atypical. They're actually very typical of the comments I get. So one person comments that grief to growth, if you are looking forward to leaving, then your initial plan to be here was a mistake and a flaw. You should be figuring out your purpose and running the race with vigor. Of course, this is all demonic without Christ. Now, again, this was a response to a near-death experience video. So I'm gonna have to comment on this, break it down in a couple parts. The first is, it says, if you're looking forward to being here, your initial plan to be here was a mistake and a flaw. Because someone's looking forward to going to the other side, it doesn't mean that their life is a mistake or a flaw. And I have never said that. I've never said that I regret living my life, not even a little bit. What I've said is I am looking forward to finishing my race, as this person says. Now, the thing is, a lot of times I think it's really important when we're talking about really big topics, we have to use analogies because we can't really address them directly sometimes. So the idea of why we are here, and I go back to when I was in college. I remember my degree is in chemical engineering. It was a difficult degree to get. It was one of the most difficult things I've done in my life was getting that degree. When I was in college, I looked forward to graduating. I looked forward to having my degree and moving on to the next thing. Now, did I enjoy my college experience? Yes, I did enjoy my college experience. Do I have any regrets about getting my degree in chemical engineering? I do not. But it was a tough course. And it was something that I look forward to finishing. Thus, or similarly, this life is tough. This life is tough for most of us, if not all of us. And if you've not gone through difficult times, you will. And so the thing is, I think about my friend Peter Panagore. When I talk about this, he talks about the fact he's been to the other side. He's had that experience, how living here is kind of like living like in a gutter or something when you have a mansion back waiting for you. So I do look forward to going home, but it doesn't mean my life here is a mistake or that there's a flaw in the design. A lot of times we take on difficult tasks because we know that some good is going to come from them. And that's what I believe about this life that we're living. Now, the other thing this person says, all of this is demonic without Christ. And I believe they were talking about the particular near-death experience that they were commenting on. I believe the near-death experience is a highly tailored event, tailored for each person to give them what they need. Some people do see Jesus in their near-death experience, and it's not only Christians, by the way. It's really interesting. Some people say, well, we see what we expect to see. I interviewed a young man for my podcast. His name is Jake Cooper. He was a 3-year-old Jewish boy, and he saw Jesus in his near-death experience, or experienced Jesus in his near-death experience. Atheists have experienced Jesus. Conversely, people have had near-death experiences and not experienced Jesus. That doesn't mean they're demonic. It doesn't mean that those people are being deceived. To me, that's what they needed to receive. So the idea, the near-death experience, first of all, it's not the death experience. It's not when we die necessarily. We don't know what it's going to be like when people go and stay permanently. Maybe people will see Jesus. Maybe everybody will see Jesus. Maybe everybody won't see Jesus. But the thing is, it doesn't mean it's demonic because they have it. And to judge someone else's experience as being demonic because they didn't have the experience that you expect to experience, I think is pretty short-sighted. But that person also judged me for saying that I'm looking forward to going home and thinking that that meant there's a flaw in my life, and there's not. The other thing is, someone said, and I don't know if this was sarcastic or not, says, "Oh my God, I just realized that there are people who actually decided to come here as killers, and others who decided, oh, it'd be great fun to get tortured and killed." Really? So the Ukrainians being killed now, they all chose to end their lives in such a horrific way. What is there to learn from that? Maybe someone has thoughts on this. I actually do have thoughts on this. And again, people, we go to extremes and say, did someone come here to be a killer or did someone come here to be killed? Honestly, I don't know the answer to that question, but I do believe that everything that happens here is part of a greater grand design. And the thing is, this person has assumed that life is about fun, that just says, oh, this will be great fun to come here and get tortured and killed. This life is not necessarily about fun. We can have fun when we're here. We can enjoy it while we're here. And I suggest to you that you do have fun and that you do enjoy it as much as possible. But what if the primary goal of living this life is not to, quote, be happy in terms of having nice things or to have comfort, but what if the primary goal of coming here is to learn and to grow? And when you think of things from that perspective, you might choose to go through something that's a, quote, less than pleasant experience. You might choose an illness, for example. And I've spoken with people who have had cancer and said it's the best thing that's ever happened to them. I've spoken with people who have had children who are handicapped and said that child being in their life has been the biggest blessing they've ever had. People who have gone through all kinds of hardships and have found a way to find joy and to find purpose in the hardship. I just interviewed a woman a couple of days ago who was raised by parents that verbally and mentally abused her. She was raped when she was younger. And she said all these things in her life have been experiences that have taught her to learn and to grow. I interviewed a woman who was actually sexually abused by her father, who says that she believes that was part of her plan. So just because you can't see these things as being part of your plan doesn't mean that other people might not. And to help you understand why people might choose these things, again, this life, everything here is temporary. And when we are in spirit, we do view things here, I think, differently. Now, someone said, well, someone else said to me, that's a design flaw in itself. That when we're in spirit, we don't realize how bad things are here or how bad things are going to be here. So there's a flaw in the system. Things shouldn't be this bad. That's a judgment call. And so I want you to think about this. Why I use this thought experiment for this. Any level of pain or discomfort we have here, we're going to call unbearable. And you think about when a child falls and skins their knee, a toddler. What do? They scream out bloody murder because you think that they had broken their leg or you think they were having their leg amputated. Because to them, that's the worst thing that can happen. Tell a child, for example, also, we're not going to go to the park today. We're going to go to the park tomorrow. Or even worse, we're going to go to the park next week. To them, there's only today. Next week, tomorrow doesn't exist. So they freak out. That's kind of what it's like when we're here. So the thing is, the things that we say are too much. The things like cancer, like murder, like rape, the things that we say are too much. No matter what those things were, if we scaled everything back even, and those things didn't exist, say it was just falling down and skinning your knee, we would say that's too much. That shouldn't exist. So it's really a matter of perspective. And the thing is, are the things we go through here worth it in the long run? I believe they are. You may not, and that's fine because maybe that perspective has not been opened up to you yet. But I believe that whatever we endure here, I know that whatever we do here is temporary. I know that whatever pain we go through is only for a while. And it reminds me of the days when I used to do this workout program. It's called P90X. And this was an intense workout program. And I'll never forget one of the instructors saying, I can do anything for 30 seconds. And that's my mantra about being on this earth. I can do anything for the amount of time I'm going to be here. It might be 60 years. It might be 70 years. It might be 80 years. It might be 100 years. But in the scheme of things, it's a pretty small thing. When we are murdered, for example, people think of when you're murdered, that's the end of your life. We talk about people leaving the earth in that way. That's only a small period of time. That's only the way that you leave. But we don't die. Our bodies die, but our souls go on. Our spirits go on. So those people being killed in Ukraine right now, we look at their bodies and we think they're dead. They're not. They never died. They have risen out of those bodies and they continue to live. Now, I do not mean to minimize the difficulties that we go through on this earth. They are very real. The pain is very real. The question is that pain worth it? And I think the real question is, what are we going to do with that pain? What are we going to do with the pain that happens to us? What do we do with the pain that happens to others? What lessons do we learn from it? So I always tell my clients, don't waste the pain. Whatever it is you're going through, whatever it is you've gone through, you've already experienced the pain. You might as well see if you can make a blessing out of it. So those are the two questions I wanted to address today. If you have questions that you'd like to leave, I'd be happy to address those as well. I might make this a regular thing if people show interest. Thanks. Have a great day.